You may have lost weight before. Maybe you stepped on the scale. The number went down. 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds. You felt it immediately. Hope, relief, maybe victory. You looked in the mirror. Your waist got smaller. Your face got thinner. Your clothes fit different. You felt lighter, physically lighter, emotionally lighter. You thought, finally, and it's working. Finally, my body is responding. Finally, I'm transforming. And that feeling was real. That progress was real. But here's the problem. There's something you couldn't see in that mirror, something no scale could measure, something no tape measure could reveal. Something buried deep inside your body right now, visceral fat, not the fat you can pinch, not the fat you see on your arms, not the fat on your thighs, not the fat on your belly that you can grab. This is different. This is the deep, hidden layer, invisible fat. The kind that wraps tightly around your liver, directly around it, suffocating it. The kind that wraps around your heart, constricting it, limiting it. The kind that wraps around your pancreas, strangling it, interfering with it. The kind that wraps around your intestines, choking them, making digestion harder. Visceral fat is inside, hidden, invisible, dangerous. And if you've ever wondered what really happens when this dangerous fat begins to break down, when it finally starts to dissolve, when your body finally mobilizes it, you're exactly where you need to be. Because what occurs inside your body during this process is far more powerful than just getting smaller. It's far more complex than simple weight loss. It's a complete biological transformation, a cellular revolution. Your organs are being freed from years of pressure, from years of inflammation, from years of hormonal disruption. Your hormones are being reset, recalibrated, restored to their original programming. Your cells are being rebuilt or repaired, restored to optimal function, and you probably have no idea it's happening. You probably just feel more energy, better sleep, clearer thinking. But inside, a profound transformation is unfolding. Most people think all fat is the same. They think body fat is just body fat. One type, one category, one uniform substance, just extra stored energy. But that's dangerously wrong. There are actually two completely different types of fat, two completely different metabolic systems, two completely different health implications. First, there's subcutaneous fat. This is the fat you can see, the fat you can pinch. It sits just under your skin. It's directly accessible. You see it on your arms, on your thighs, on your abdomen, on your belly, on your chin, on your love handles. This fat is annoying. It's visible. It's cosmetically embarrassing. It's what makes you look heavier than you feel. But here's the thing. It's relatively harmless. It's actually protective in small amounts. It insulates your body. It keeps you warm. It stores energy for emergencies. It cushions your organs. It protects your bones. Subcutaneous fat is like living in the suburbs. It's far from command central. It's separated from your vital organs. It has minimal influence on your hormonal system. It's not constantly bathing your organs in inflammatory substances. You can have significant subcutaneous fat and still be relatively healthy. Many bodybuilders have visible fat but are metabolically healthy. Subcutaneous fat is mostly neutral, annoying cosmetically, but not life-threatening. But then there's visceral fat. This is completely different. Visceral fat is the deep fat, the hidden fat, the dangerous fat. It wraps around your organs, directly around your liver, not on your liver, or not near your liver, around it, directly touching it. Visceral fat wraps around your heart, tightly, constricting it, limiting its expansion, making every beat harder. Visceral fat wraps around your pancreas, strangling it, interfering with insulin production. Visceral fat wraps around your intestines, choking them, making digestion difficult. Visceral fat fills the spaces between organs. It occupies the abdominal cavity. It presses against everything. It takes up space where nothing should be. If your body were a city, subcutaneous fat would be living in the suburbs, far away, relatively safe, minimal influence on daily operations. But visceral fat lives in the capital. It lives in the government district. It lives next to the power centers. It lives where every major decision gets made. It's wrapped around your liver, steps away from your bloodstream. It's pressing against your pancreas, interfering with insulin production. It's bathing your organs in inflammatory substances, 24/7, constantly, without rest. Here's what makes visceral fat truly different. Visceral fat cells aren't passive. They're not just sitting there storing energy. They're metabolically active. They're constantly secreting substances. They're factories of inflammation. Visceral fat cells release TNF-alpha. TNF-alpha is a powerful inflammatory cytokine. It triggers inflammation throughout your entire body. It activates your immune system inappropriately. It tells your immune cells, there's a threat. Activate, attack, so your immune system is in constant alert mode, constantly attacking, constantly inflamed, constantly stressed. Visceral fat cells release IL-6, another inflammatory cytokine. It amplifies the inflammatory signal. It spreads the message. We're under attack. The body is in crisis. Visceral fat cells release resistin directly. Interferes with insulin signaling. It makes your cells ignore insulin. Your blood sugar stays elevated. Your pancreas has to work harder. Visceral fat cells release leptin, but too much leptin, so much that your brain can't process the signal anymore. You become leptin resistant. Your brain thinks you're starving, even when you've just eaten, even when you're full. Your brain doesn't hear the signal. So you feel hungry, constantly hungry, endlessly hungry. You eat more. You gain more weight, mainly visceral fat. Because your body recognizes it's dangerous. It stores weight preferentially in visceral locations. The vicious cycle deepens. Visceral fat isn't just unflattering. It's not just cosmetically embarrassing. It's a genuine health crisis, a silent crisis, a deadly crisis happening inside millions of bodies right now. And here's what most doctors don't explain. Visceral fat is more dangerous than any other type of obesity. More dangerous than being overweight. More dangerous than being obese by BMI standards. You can be thin. You can have a flat stomach. You can have normal weight on the scale. You can look healthy. But if you have excessive visceral fat, you're at extreme risk. High risk for heart attack. High risk for stroke. High risk for type 2 diabetes. High risk for Alzheimer's disease. High risk for cancer. High risk for liver disease. High risk for kidney disease. High risk for depression. High risk for anxiety. Why? Because visceral fat is a metabolic poison. It literally poisons your metabolism. It's like having a toxic chemical factory installed inside your abdomen, operating 24/7, producing poison, releasing poison into your bloodstream. Think of visceral fat inflammation like a fire, a low-burning fire, not dramatic, not obvious, not visible, but constant. Smoldering, burning inside your organs, burning inside your blood, inside vessels, burning inside your tissues. This chronic inflammation is the root of every modern disease, every single one. Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's, autoimmune disease, they all have chronic inflammation at their foundation. And visceral fat is one of the most powerful inflammation generators in the entire human body. Think about it. Every day, your visceral fat is releasing inflammatory substances. Every hour, every minute, every second. These substances are bathing your organs are inflamed, your immune cells are constantly activated, your tissues are being damaged, and you feel fine. Most of the time, you have no idea it's happening. You just feel tired, heavy, like something's off. But you can't put your finger on it. That's chronic visceral fat inflammation, silent, invisible, destructive. Most people imagine fat loss as a brutal fight. Run harder, eat less. Clench your stomach like you're negotiating with pain itself. Push through the discomfort. Force it. Dominate the process through sheer willpower. But visceral fat doesn't disappear through force. That's not how it works. Its breakdown begins quietly, almost imperceptibly. No alarms, no fireworks, no dramatic metabolic explosion, no sudden change you can feel. Instead, it starts with microscopic biochemical signals, encrypted messages, sent between your cells, delivered through your bloodstream. While you're going about your day, completely unaware, you might be sleeping, you might be working, you might be exercising, but inside your body, at the cellular level, a cascade is beginning. When your body senses an energy shortage through extended fasting, through extended gaps between meals, through burning through available glucose, it sends a discrete internal signal. That message is unmistakable. Your body is saying, we need energy. We need it. From storage. Mobilize the reserves. Release the visceral fat. This signal comes in the form of hormones. Hormones like norepinephrine, like epinephrine, like glucagon, like growth hormone. These hormones travel through your bloodstream. They search for fat cells. They find visceral fat cells first. Why visceral fat first? Because your body recognizes that visceral fat is dangerous. It needs to be mobilized and eliminated. Your body has prioritized this. This is intelligent design. Your body knows visceral fat is the problem. When these hormones arrive at visceral fat cells, they bind to receptors on the cell surface. They deliver a message. Release your contents. Release your stored energy. Release the fatty acids. Now! The visceral fat cell membrane breaks. Triglycerides are broken down. Free fatty acids flood out. These molecules enter the bloodstream. Thousands of them. Millions of them. But here's the crucial thing. These aren't just fuel. They're messages. Urgent memos delivered to your liver, your muscles, your heart, your pancreas, your brain. They're saying, attention everyone. New strategy activated. Reduce sugar dependency. Fat fuel is now online. Prepare for metabolic shift. This single signal sets off a cascade, a domino effect, a chain reaction through your entire metabolic system. Everything changes all at once. While visceral fat is releasing fatty acids, while your liver is receiving this new fuel, something even more profound is happening. Your entire hormonal system is being reset. Hormones that have been dysregulated for years are finally returning to normal. And the first to change is cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It's your body's primary stress signal. When visceral fat is present, when it's wrapping around your organs, when it's constantly releasing inflammatory substances, your body perceives chronic stress. Even if you're not consciously stressed, even if you're relaxed, even if you're not worried about anything, your body is stressed at the cellular level. Your organs are under pressure. Your immune system is under attack. Your tissues are being inflamed, so your cortisol stays elevated, constantly elevated for years, maybe for a decade or more. This chronic cortisol elevation causes serious problems. Cortisol breaks down muscle tissue. Cortisol promotes belly fat storage. Cortisol suppresses immune function. Cortisol impairs sleep quality. Cortisol accelerates aging. Cortisol increases anxiety. Cortisol causes insulin resistance. It's a hormone of crisis. And when it's elevated chronically, everything suffers. But here's what happens. When visceral fat begins to break down, the inflammatory signal decreases. Your body perceives less threat. Your nervous system receives fewer danger signals. Cortisol levels finally begin to normalize, gradually at first, then more rapidly. And when cortisol drops or something remarkable unfolds, your nervous system steps out of constant alert mode. You stop living in fight or flight. You move into rest and digest. Your parasympathetic nervous system activates. This is the healing mode. Your body can finally recover. Your sleep deepens. Your recovery improves. Your immune system recalibrates. The constant battle between your body and itself stops. It's like your nervous system finally exhales. A long breath you didn't know you were holding. Then there's insulin. When visceral fat is excessive, you develop insulin resistance. Your cells stop listening to insulin. No matter how much insulin your pancreas produces, it can't get the message through. Your cells don't accept glucose. Your blood sugar stays elevated. Your pancreas recognizes the problem. The cells aren't accepting glucose. I need to produce more insulin. I need to shout louder. So your pancreas produces more insulin, and more, and more. Insulin levels get higher and higher. This high insulin state is metabolically destructive. High insulin promotes fat storage. High insulin promotes inflammation. High insulin accelerates aging. High insulin causes mood problems. High insulin creates energy crashes. High insulin makes you hungry. It's a vicious cycle. But as visceral fat breaks down, as inflammation decreases, insulin sensitivity returns, gradually, steadily. Your cells start listening to insulin again. Your cells accept glucose more readily. Your pancreas can produce less insulin and still do the same job. Your blood sugar stabilizes, your energy stabilizes, your cravings decrease, your mood improves, and you're no longer locked in the fat storage cycle. While cortisol and insulin are normalizing, other crucial hormones are resetting too. Leptin is your fullness hormone. It's your body's signal for I'm satisfied. It tells your brain when you've had enough to eat. It tells your brain to stop eating. It tells your brain to feel content. But when you have excessive visceral fat, you develop leptin resistance. Your body produces lots of leptin. Your leptin levels are sky high. But your brain can't hear the signal. It's like screaming into a void. The message is there. The signal is being sent. But no one's listening. Your brain is deaf to the signal. So what happens? Your brain thinks you're starving, even though you just ate, even though you're completely full, even though your stomach is stretched. Your brain doesn't know. It thinks you need more food. It triggers hunger signals. It makes you feel desperate for food. You eat more, you gain more weight. Mainly visceral fat. Your leptin levels go even higher. But your brain still can't hear. This is leptin resistance. And it's why people with visceral fat struggle with constant cravings. They're not weak. They're not lacking discipline. Their leptin signaling is broken, but as visceral fat decreases, as inflammation cools, leptin resistance begins to reverse. Your leptin levels normalize. Your brain starts listening again. You naturally feel full. You naturally stop eating when satisfied, without forcing it, without fighting hunger, without feeling deprived. The exhausting battle between hunger and willpower ends. Then there's ghrelin. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone. It's supposed to signal your brain, I'm hungry, I need food, eat now. But when it's dysregulated, you feel hungry at inappropriate times. You crave sugar, you crave carbs, you feel intense hunger spikes at night. You feel mysterious hunger signals that don't match your actual energy needs. Your ghrelin is like a broken alarm, going off randomly, creating false emergencies. But as visceral fat melts away, as inflammation cools, ghrelin stabilizes, hunger becomes predictable, manageable, reasonable. It occurs when you actually need food. It subsides when you're satisfied. It's no longer erratic. While these hormonal changes are unfolding, one organ is experiencing a profound transformation: your liver. The liver is the first organ to receive the flood of free fatty acids released as visceral fat breaks down. For years, while visceral fat was accumulating, your liver was overwhelmed. It was receiving signals: store fat, store fat, store fat. Your liver started storing fat inside itself: fatty liver disease, hepatic steatosis, fat droplets accumulating inside your hepatocytes. Your liver was becoming dysfunctional. It was struggling. But when visceral fat begins to break down, something remarkable happens. Your liver doesn't collapse under the load. It reorganizes. It upgrades. It enters a phase of high-efficiency metabolic restructuring. The liver increases fat oxidation capacity. It's like upgrading your factory's processing capacity. Key enzymes increase, CPT1 increases. This enzyme helps transport fatty acids into mitochondria. ADH increases. This enzyme helps break down fatty acids. Fatty acid oxidation enzymes increase. Your liver shifts from a storage organ into a processing organ. It's no longer trying to store fat. It's burning fat efficiently, cleanly, completely. And here's what's remarkable. The liver produces ketones. Clean-burning ketones. Ketones are a superior fuel source to glucose. They generate ATP energy with less oxidative stress, less inflammation, less free radicals. They actually feed the brain preferentially. Many people report enhanced mental clarity when their liver is producing ketones: sharper focus, better memory, clearer thinking, calmer mood, more sustained energy, no crashes, just clean, continuous energy. The liver becomes more efficient at fat processing. Its other functions improve too. Detoxification improves dramatically. Your liver can now process toxins more efficiently. Hormones are processed more efficiently. Estrogen, cortisol, testosterone, these hormones are metabolized in the liver. When the liver is overwhelmed, hormones circulate excessively. They cause problems: acne, mood instability, hormonal imbalance. But as the liver recovers, hormone metabolism improves. Hormone levels normalize. And people report clearer skin, more emotional stability, better hormonal balance. The liver also becomes better at processing toxins. For years, while visceral fat was accumulating, toxins were being stored in that fat: pesticides, heavy metals, cosmetic chemicals, food additives, BPA, endocrine disruptors. Your body couldn't eliminate them immediately, so it stored them in visceral fat. It was a survival strategy. I can't eliminate this now. I'll trap it in a fat. At least it won't circulate. But as that fat breaks down, those toxins are released. Your liver has to process them. Your kidneys have to filter them. Your lymphatic system has to move them. Your digestive system has to eliminate them. One of the most fascinating effects of visceral fat breakdown is the transformation in your gut. The digestive system is home to trillions of bacteria. 100 trillion. These bacteria outnumber your human cells. They're literally part of your body. 10 times more bacteria than human cells, and they influence everything. For years, while visceral fat was creating chronic inflammation, your gut was in a hostile environment. Inflammatory cytokines were streaming through. TNF-alpha, IL-6, resistin. These inflammatory substances were bathing your gut. Your gut lining was becoming damaged. This is called leaky gut. Intestinal permeability, tight junctions in your intestinal wall were breaking down. Spaces were opening up. Undigested food particles were leaking through. Bacteria were crossing the barrier. Your immune system was attacking, and pathogenic bacteria were thriving. Bad bacteria, opportunistic bacteria, they were multiplying. Beneficial bacteria were dying, killed by the inflammatory environment. Your gut microbiome was becoming imbalanced. Dysbiosis, a toxic gut ecosystem. But as visceral fat decreases, as inflammation decreases, something remarkable happens. The digestive environment becomes less hostile, less inflammatory, more supportive of beneficial bacteria. Bacteria like lactobacillus, like bifidobacterium, like faecalibacterium, like akkermansia. These beneficial bacteria begin to recover. They begin to multiply. They restore your gut ecosystem. And as they do, the effects ripple outward in remarkable ways. First, digestion improves. Beneficial bacteria help break down fiber. They help produce short-chain fatty acids, butyrate, propionate, acetate. These fatty acids feed your gut cells. They improve nutrient absorption. They improve energy production. People report better digestion, less bloating, less gas, smoother bowel movements, less constipation, less diarrhea. Digestion feels effortless. Your gut is home to 70% of your immune system, gut-associated lymphoid tissue. Beneficial bacteria help train immune cells. They help maintain immune balance. They prevent autoimmune overactivation. As your microbiome recovers, your immune system becomes more efficient, more precise, more intelligent. It stops attacking harmless substances. It stops creating autoimmune problems. It becomes balanced. And then something even more profound, mood and mental health improve. This is the gut-brain axis. Your gut produces neurotransmitters, serotonin, GABA, dopamine, acetylcholine. In fact, nearly 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut, not in your brain, in your gut. When your gut is inflamed, when your microbiome is dysbiotic, this production is suppressed. You feel depressed, anxious, irritable, emotionally unstable. But as your gut heals, as beneficial bacteria recover, neurotransmitter production resumes, and people report better mood, less anxiety, better sleep, more emotional resilience, clearer thinking, less depression. It's not placebo. It's the gut-brain connection working as designed. A healthier gut produces a healthier mind. While all of this is happening internally, your cardiovascular system is experiencing a profound reset. For years, visceral fat has been damaging your heart and blood vessels. Visceral fat cells release inflammatory substances directly into your bloodstream. These substances travel to your arteries. They trigger inflammation in your artery walls. Your endothelial cells become inflamed. These are the cells lining your arteries. The gatekeeper cells. They're damaged. Plaque begins to form. Oxidized LDL cholesterol deposits in artery walls. It accumulates year after year. Your arteries stiffen. Your blood pressure rises. Your heart has to work harder. It beats faster. It gets less efficient. It tires more easily. But as visceral fat breaks down, the inflammatory assault stops. Your arteries begin to heal. Endothelial function begins to improve. Inflammation in your artery walls decreases. Your immune cells stop attacking your vessel walls. M1 macrophages shift to M2 macrophages. Attack mode shifts to repair mode. And something remarkable happens. Your blood vessels become more flexible again. They regain elasticity. They can dilate and constrict appropriately. Your blood pressure normalizes. Your heart doesn't have to work as hard. It can beat more efficiently. It beats less frequently. It uses less energy. It gets more rest. It functions better. At the same time, cholesterol metabolism improves. Visceral fat disrupts cholesterol ratios. It promotes LDL cholesterol. It suppresses HDL cholesterol. This ratio is dangerous. LDL cholesterol deposits in artery walls. It forms plaque. It increases heart attack risk. But as visceral fat decreases, this ratio corrects itself naturally. LDL cholesterol decreases. VDL cholesterol increases. Your cholesterol profile improves without medications, without strict dieting, just from the visceral fat decreasing. As visceral fat decreases and inflammation cools and hormones rebalance, something even more fundamental happens. Your metabolism becomes flexible. Metabolic flexibility, the ability to shift seamlessly between glucose and fat as energy sources for years. If you have excessive visceral fat, your metabolism is rigid. It can only run on one fuel, glucose, carbohydrates, sugar. If glucose isn't available, your body panics. It enters survival mode. It stores everything. It slows metabolism. It makes you feel fatigued. You feel like you need to eat constantly. You feel like you crash if you skip a meal. You feel weak if you fast. Your metabolism is glucose dependent, rigid, inflexible, metabolically unhealthy. But as visceral fat disappears, as inflammation decreases, your metabolism wakes up. It remembers how to use fat as fuel. It develops metabolic flexibility. You can eat a meal and feel satiated for hours. You can skip a meal and feel fine. You can fast for 16 hours and have plenty of energy. You can exercise fasted and feel powerful. Your body can seamlessly switch between glucose and fat. This is the hallmark of metabolic health. And it happens naturally as visceral fat decreases. While these transformations are happening, your cells are undergoing another profound transformation. Deep cellular cleanup. This process is called autophagy. Autophagy is your body's internal housekeeping system, the garbage disposal at the cellular level. Your cells are constantly producing waste, damaged proteins, misfolded structures, accumulated junk, oxidative damage, mitochondrial debris. Normally, autophagy cleans this up slowly. But when you're in fat-burning mode, when visceral fat is breaking down, when insulin is low, autophagy accelerates dramatically. It goes into high gear, turbo mode, overdrive. The transformation happens in phases, not all at once, but in a specific sequence. Week 1 to 2. Initial mobilization within the first 1 to 2 weeks. Visceral fat mobilization begins. Your body receives the signal, mobilize fat. Hormones like norepinephrine and glucagon increase. Visceral fat cells release fatty acids. Your liver receives the signal and begins upgrading. Most people don't notice much yet. But it's happening at the cellular level. Week 3 to 4, energy shift by week 3 to 4. The energy shift becomes noticeable. Your liver is producing ketones. Your brain is using ketones. You feel more mental clarity, better focus, sharper thinking, more sustained energy, no afternoon crashes. Week 5 to 8, hormonal stabilization. By week 5 to 8, hormones are stabilizing. Cortisol is normalizing. Insulin sensitivity is improving. Leptin is beginning to signal properly. You notice better sleep, more stable mood, better appetite control, less cravings, more consistent energy. Month 3 to 4. Cellular repair accelerates by month 3 to 4. Cellular repair accelerates. Autophagy is in full effect. Damaged cells are being cleared. New mitochondria are being built. Organs are healing. Inflammation is significantly reduced. You might notice clearer skin, better digestion, improved immunity, better mood stability, more energy. Month 6 plus, systemic transformation. By month 6 and beyond, the systemic transformation is complete. Your entire body has been rebuilt at the cellular level. Your body is no longer in crisis. It's operating optimally. You feel consistently energetic, emotionally stable, sharp mentally, physically capable, healthier in every way. It's important to understand, visceral fat has been causing damage, years of damage, maybe decades of damage. And that damage is being reversed as visceral fat decreases. Your arteries have been developing plaque, atherosclerotic plaque, years of inflammatory damage, years of LDL cholesterol deposition. But as visceral fat decreases, the inflammation stops. The LDL cholesterol is no longer being deposited. In fact, some of the plaque can begin to clear. Your arteries become cleaner, more flexible, more functional. According to research from the American Heart Association, just a 10% reduction in visceral fat can lower heart disease risk by up to 30%. Not 3%, not 10%, 30%. That's enormous. That's life-changing. That's the difference between a heart attack at 55 and living to 85 in good health. Research shows that visceral fat reduction improves insulin sensitivity more than any medication, more than metformin, more than any GLP-1 drug, more than any weight loss medication. Because visceral fat reduction addresses the root cause. If this video helped you understand that visceral fat is more than cosmetic, if this helped you recognize that fat loss is about deep biological transformation, if this helped you see that your body wants to heal, then I need you to do 3 things right now. 1. Subscribe. Click subscribe. Tap the bell icon. Turn on notifications, because I post science-backed health videos regularly. Videos that most people don't know. Videos that can literally change your health trajectory. 2. Share this video. Share this with someone you care about, someone who's struggling with weight, someone who's struggling with energy, someone who doesn't understand visceral fat. Your share might be the catalyst that changes their entire life. 3. Comment below. Tell me in the comments. What surprised you most about visceral fat? What shocked you about what happens when it decreases? Because when you understand your biology, you don't have to fear it anymore. You can work with it. Instead of against it, your body is brilliant. It wants to heal. It wants to function optimally. It wants to transform. All you have to do is give it the chance. Here's the deepest truth. Your body isn't your enemy. It's not failing you. It's not broken. It's responding intelligently to the signals you're sending. For years, maybe you've been sending signals. Store fat. Prepare for famine. We're in crisis. Protect yourself. And your body listened. Stored visceral fat as a protective mechanism. But your body also has the capacity to release that fat, heal the damage, restore optimal function, rebuild itself completely. And when you understand this, when you recognize that your body wants to heal, everything changes. The struggle stops, the fight stops, and transformation becomes inevitable.